Let me just get this out the way. The cinematography in Nosferatu 2024 is absolutely phenomenal. From the lighting to the angles and the use of IMAX and even the carefully chosen locations are a masterclass in visual storytelling. Every frame could be hung in a gallery. Unfortunately, you can't hang a movie in a gallery because a movie is more than just pretty pictures. It needs a compelling story, characters you care about, and a director who knows how to piece together a good movie. Nosferatu 2024 fails so hard in these areas it almost feels deliberate, like the filmmakers wanted to punish the audience for coming to watch this movie. Hello, and my name is Bishi Bambino, and this is my review of Nosferatu. Let's jam. The story starts off as one of those one-to-one remakes of the 1922 silent film, but things go south almost immediately. Within the first few minutes, the film dives headfirst into this unnecessarily explicit and uncomfortable scene that sets up the tone, which isn't horror. Gothic horror is all about nuance and atmosphere. It's about what isn't shown as much as what is shown. The original Nosferatu terrified audiences with its subtle tension and its eerie silence, but with this remake, it throws all of that out of the window. Instead, it leans heavily into the shock value, stripping away any sense of mystery and dread. It's like the filmmakers didn't trust the audience to feel fear, so they decided to make them feel awkward instead, confusing their senses. By the time the plot kicks into full gear, if you can even call it that, it's a tangled mess of nonsensical character decisions and overblown melodrama. For example, the heroine is a sheet freak and does freaky things. Not because of any compelling reason, but because the script needed something to happen. It's lazy, it's nonsensical, and it's insulting to anyone who appreciates a good story. The characters in the story are as lifeless as the vampire who is the heart of the story. There is no development, there's no depth, there's no reason to care about any of them, for any reason. The heroine is frustratingly one-dimensional, making baffling choices that seem to exist solely to advance the plot. The vampire, who should be the centerpiece of the movie, is as scary as a damp, soggy sponge sitting in a cesspool of maggots and diarrhea donkey dick. His entire personality can be summed up in one word: horny. Seriously, the vampire spends more time creeping on people than being an actual threat in the movie. The only saving grace in the cast is Willem Dafoe, who, as always, gives 110%. His character is the only one with a shred of intrigue, but even he can't carry the sinking ship of a shitty-ass movie. If it's one thing that this movie's taught me, is that the director needs to pack it up. He needs to find a new career path, because this filmmaking shit is not for him. Horror is one of the hardest genres to get right, requiring a delicate balance of tension, pacing, and atmosphere, and this director seems to understand none of that. Jump scares are overused to the point where it's exhausting. The pacing is all over the place with long, meandering scenes that lead absolutely nowhere. The director seems more interested in pushing the limits of how uncomfortable he can make the audience feel than crafting a coherent story. The worst thing still is the director's reliance on CGI, like rats. Just get some rats. It's an affront to practical effects, a cornerstone of great horror. Practical effects makes things feel real and visceral, like in The Thing or An American Werewolf in London in 1981. Instead, we get poorly rendered digital rodents that yank you out of the movie every time they appear on screen. And don't get me started on the vampire. I'll say it again, this movie looks amazing. The cinematographer deserves a standing ovation for their work here. The lighting is perfect, the locations are breathtaking, and every shot is meticulously composed. If this were a silent film where the visuals carried the entire experience, it might have been a masterpiece. But a movie isn't just its visuals, and no amount of beauty shots can make up for the bad writing, the bad directing, and the bad performances, alright? Nosferatu is a disaster, a 1 out of 10. It's a textbook example of how not to make a beloved classic and completely miss the point. The original Nosferatu was a haunting, atmospheric masterpiece that defined the genre. This remake is a shallow, poorly directed mess that relies on shock value and bad writing to stumble its way through its bloated runtime. The cinematography gets a perfect score, but everything else gets a hard, fat 0. If the director has any self-awareness, they'll take this as a sign to step away from filmmaking and find a new career path. Maybe burger flippings, bro. Put the fries in the goddamn bag. Just please, for the love of all that cinema, do not make another movie. Save your time, save your money, and watch Hotel Transylvania, because at least then you'll get a good example of a vampire. Nosferatu, like no fucking way I spent 2 hours watching this piece of dog shit. This movie is diarrhea coming out of my dick. This movie is as appealing as a fucking rat-infested, dirty fucking sewer rat shit. I've had more fun playing with dog turds. Olaf is my ass and Thomas is my balls. This movie is an inside-out asshole regurgitating putrid anal fecal matter. I'd rather fucking yank the hairs out of my scrotum. I'd rather drink diarrhea vomit out of a buffalo's ass. It sucks. It fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. It fucking blows pieces of shit out the window, and I don't like it. Works scientists are on the screen. Remember to take care of yourselves, and have yourselves a dang good one.